portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
A week-long course in mediation and arbitration currently underway at the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce.
A small group of Bahamians will receive training on the importance of mediation, arbitration, and ways to deal with various conflicts. The training exercise is co-sponsored by the London School of Mediation, the Ministry of Financial Services, and the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce.
Minister of Financial Services, the Honorable Ryan Pinder, says this program seeks to certify participants in mediation as the Ministry of Finance looks to institutionalize a form of dispute resolution in the country.
We were just speaking about how mediation is an efficient and effective tool in commercial disputes, a lot of trade disputes we were speaking about are resolved through mediation, as well as even family disputes and going to the schools and having disputes with children mediated in an official and structured way that goes a long way, not to just helping businesses, but really helping a society at large. So I think it's very important that we bring this type of course offering to the Bahamas.
Vast changes for the Surrey industry are set to take place as the Ministry of Transport and Aviation looks to improve the sector and improve conditions for horses. Over the past several years, a call has been made for government to ensure that safe practices take place for the protection and welfare of industry stakeholders. During a press conference today, CAB Board Chairman Dr. Maurice Isaacs revealed that regular inspections of Surreys will be increased along with fares that have not changed from 1906. Additionally, laws are also being reviewed to improve the industry.
Also establish electronic data files on the owners, drivers, and horses, and improve the distribution of the results of the inspection through electronic mail to improve enforcement so that all agencies can be aware of which horses and surreys are allowed on the road. We are also seeking to establish the industry on a firm financial footing by looking to increase fares and reduce costs. These costs include the burden of each owner operating their own stables. Therefore, we are seeking to work with the owners to explore alternative models such as communal stables to share costs.
Now, Minister of Transport and Aviation Gladys Hannah Martin noted that they are exploring locations in the West to house communicable stables and transfer tours along the ocean from the alleviate congestion because of Surreys in the downtown area. She also addressed concerns about conditions at the Prince George Wharf where Surreys are located.
Very intense dialogue with the Ministry of Works to ensure that the trough is rehabilitated, that there is sufficient water, and that does not pose an issue for the initial care of horses as they're lined up there in the rotation.
Efforts to transform a historical site into the National Museum of the Bahamas got an injection this past weekend, and while the themed fundraising gala event generated thousands in revenue, it's still a far cry from the millions it will take to restore Collins Mansion.
I'm advised that the restoration and conservation of the Collins Mansion into a state-of-the-art public museum is estimated to cost between 12 to 14 million.
And to assist this effort, the Historic Bahamas Foundation and the Antiquities, Monuments and Museums Corporation hosted a swinging soiree gala this past weekend. The jazz theme event is the first fundraiser to fund the restoration and preservation of Collins House.
With the estimated cost as high as that, it is necessary for the government to rely on public-private partnerships and financial support from the public generally, and the support of international donor organizations that are concerned with heritage conservation. Given such challenges and constraints and the costs involved, I really must applaud the work and support of the Historic Bahamas Foundation.
And what we're doing tonight in terms of preserving history and heritage across these 700 islands is for the children of the Bahamas, and as Dr. King said, the children yet unborn.
Among the dignitaries in attendance were Deputy to the Governor General Dame Marguerite Pindling and Dr. Bernice King, the daughter of civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. King, who now considers the Bahamas as her second home, says just as her father found rest and inspiration here, so does she.
I did not understand when I heard Dr. Miles Monroe say years ago that God lives in the Bahamas. until I came on several occasions, and Debbie actually was the one to tell me about the history of my father coming here. Strangely enough, it was not my mother, but it was Debbie Bartlett who opened the doors and helped me understand the unique tie and connection to the Bahamas. I never understood what the affinity that I had for the Bahamas was about. And now I certainly understand and appreciate it.
The Catholic Archdiocese of Nassau is hosting this week the Antilles Episcopal Conference annual meeting of Pontifical Mission Society's directors. Director of the Mission for the Bahamas, Father Alien Laverne, says this is an important occasion for the Catholic Church. Meanwhile, Father George Williams from Antigua and the Most Reverend Neil Tiedemann from Jamaica gives us an update on some of the work that they do throughout the region.
We focus on the children here really in the Archdiocese, where through the Holy Child Association, we help the children to be in solidarity with the less fortunate children in the world by asking them to help them through prayer and sacrifice.
Provide funding for infrastructure like schools and churches, and assistance in terms of renovating parish halls or diocesan buildings. The second one is the missionary childhood. The missionary childhood, whereby we provide funding for small projects relating to childhood development, preschools, daycare centers.
We believe as children help children. And so we try to form groups within our diocese so that we can help children proclaim Christ to other children. We also have special lunch programs in our Catholic school systems that are helped by the Holy Childhood Society.
Coming up, young men in North Andros get positive reinforcement.
And then from Cat Island, basketball action from the weekend. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain. Bank of the Bahamas officials reassuring customers that the bank continues to operate in a sound and prudent fashion. The comments come in response to numerous media reports which suggest political favoritism or political involvement in granting loans. Authorities say this is not true, and after 20 years in operation, the bank registered its first loss last year of $3.5 million. In setting the record straight, bank officials say the agency exceeds central bank requirements and international banking norms as it's robustly capitalized. In other business news, Sports Minister Dr. Daniel Johnson has predicted, quote, a breakout year, and quote, in sports tourism for the Bahamas, bringing in millions of dollars. Johnson indicated that several large-scale events are on tap for 2014. He pointed to the recent Ladies Professional Golf Classic Tour on Paradise Island, and he highlighted that we are preparing for the World Relays. Aside from that, he said Tiger Woods has a very special event he intends to bring to the Bahamas. Johnson said the country's goal is to become the #1 sports destination in the region. And in international business news, this January has seen a dip in sales for automakers who reported declines due to harsh freeze and winter storms that hampered purchases across the United States. The New York Times is reporting that the country's largest car maker, General Motors, said sales fell 12% last month to 171,486 vehicles, while its crosstown rival Ford reportedly slipped, selling 154,644 vehicles. The smallest of Detroit's automakers, the Chrysler Group, fared better. It reported growth of 8% to 127,183 vehicles for its best January sales performance in 6 years. In fact, it was the 46th month of consecutive sales for gains for the automaker, whose acquisition by Fiat was completed last month. That was your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain.